All right, here we are. Sorry I'm running a little bit late, guys. I was taking care of some stuff, but I think we're in good shape now. So, all right, I was saying, and I think we're going to try doing a robot today. Um, I am certainly not particularly familiar with humanoid modeling or even drawing. I'm much more of an environment and vehicles kind of guy, but I did two yesterday and I really enjoyed it. So we'll try it and we'll see what we get. Let's turn on mirror, mirror's on, and turn on continuous. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is make like a little dumb armature of the basic shapes I'm thinking of, just so I kind of know. And no, okay, I'm still kind of all the same plane. I find that I often don't give myself enough room when I'm doing these, at least the first two. So I'm going to try to be a bit better about it. And I will still probably make a mess of things. So like, yeah, okay, that's about as simple an armature as you could get, right? I mean, at this point, I don't think I'm going to give it a lot of depth, but that's going to be like the basic layout of a robot dude. This is not anywhere near pretty, but it doesn't need to be. I mostly just want to make sure that it's looking the way I want it to. He's angled a little bit weird, but as long as he's vertical, I don't guess I care. Well, I'm gonna try. Now he seems like he's undo. Now he seems like he's vertical. Oh, I lost some shit, but hey, no big deal. Just put it back. Um, we're not really going to use this ever actually anyway. This is just purely to get an idea of shape. So now we have that on one layer. This is so we're going to go with a different layer now, and we'll add a new layer, and we're going to increase the res on it twice, and we're going to pick a different color just so we know that we're not on that anymore. Cool. Yep. And now we're going to just kind of block in what his skeleton is. And we'll do that with the clay tool and just some kind of very simple mechanical shapes. Kind of just want something that, there we go. We'll use this pill. I like this pill. Am I on continuous? Yeah, I'm on continuous. I think we'll actually jump to single just so I can have a little bit more control. And there. I told you, very simple. He's gonna have long legs. The cool thing about robots is that they don't actually have to be directly human proportional, right? Um, and okay, and head thing. So now, let's see now if I turn off layer one, there's our basic robot shape. That's gonna be like the skeleton we're gonna use to make this bad boy. Um, he looks like he's vertical. All right. Yeah, he's vertical. He looks good. All right. Um, and I'm going to try increasing res one more time. So we got a nice crisp kind of shape going on. All right. Now, I don't know where the best place to start is. I'm going to start with the chest. As I said, I am not particularly or historically speaking, that's a better way of putting it. Historically speaking, I have not been particularly much of a robot guy. Um, but that doesn't mean you can't. Why am I not getting? Come on. Did I turn off? Oh, it's just center and make sure that mirror is on. Okay, mirror is on again. He's not centered though. That's not centered, people. You bastards. All right, let's figure it. Let's see. Now, can I move him? I want him kind of in the center, or it's not, or mirror's going to be a pain. Or I can figure out how to try to move my mirror axis, but I don't really know how to do that either. Is there a way to grab the mirror axis? That would be cool if there was. Ugh. This never goes as well as you want to, does it? And I wish there was a way to just move a whole layer too. That would be cool, but I have yet to figure that out. Center. Let's see, do I have any options? No, go away. Ah, you rat bastard. Okay, let's just try faking it for a minute. We're still early enough that I think move. Ugh, gross. Okay. No. Yeah, okay, we're gonna undo that one as soon as it finishes. And now turn off mirror, which is gonna make it a pain, but on, turn off mirror. Ugh, no, okay, we're just gonna do this again. Screw it. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. Delete layer. Turn on layer 1. Visually, okay, it's there. New layer again. Let's try this again. See if it'll want to work this time. Best laid plans. Clay. Get my pill again. Oh, I need to upgrade up my resolution. Twice. And red pill. Red pill. Red pill. I don't have mirror on, do I? I apologize, guys. It seems like it's that kind of day. I hope you're having a good day, though. Sort of randomly in Vancouver, we always talk about it. The weather seems nice today, and that's awesome. I'm pretty psyched. I think I'm gonna go for a walk later, go around Stanley Park. And the city really is fantastic when the weather is nice. So, okay. And head. Now, let's see. Did that give me what I want? Turn off layer 1. That's on, and I am mirrored right down the center. Hopefully everything's going to work out. All right, so now back to the chest again. That seems like a cool piece. Let's start with that. I'll adjust what I'm doing a bit. Let it go. Oh, there we go. Big. Okay. And a smaller piece for the admin. Then let's see, for knees, let's do, it's kind of a cool set of 3D print joints. Well, let's go in there and grab a joint. Just it'll kind of work for us. Maybe, actually, instead of that, let's go to just mechanical. I remember I did this the other day, and that looks more, and they're already together. So, okay, yeah, so there's a knee joint for us. And let's make it a bit bigger. He has knees. Woohoo! Make it a bit smaller. And he has elbows. Say, woo! Already looking like a robot. Let's make it a lot bigger. and he has a hip joint. So for the shoulders, I was watching Aaron Beck's video from ArtStation, and he had these cool like hex pod things, and I know they're very well overused now, but I kind of like them. So I went this morning. I'm just gonna do that a little bit, and I made my own custom stamp, which is cool that you can do that. And it's just kind of a very rough version of one of his kind of ideas for a hex pod. So now he's got those like movable thing shoulders, and I know it's very done, but I think it's cool. And I mean, honestly, I'm going to hide most of this anyway because this guy is like super scrawny and thin, and his legs are already kind of angling again. That's a problem with VR that you need to be aware of, or at least I need to be aware of, is that there's this tendency, just like when you draw, to kind of angle things towards you a little bit. There's this, I'm doing the same thing, I think, when I'm doing it in 3D space. And because as I go down, it kind of, the angle of my arm comes around, it brings things closer. But there we go, we fixed him, I believe. He looks like he's essentially vertical now. Yep, cool. But yeah, but very skinny. So let's give him a bit more volume and oomph. And this is, again, kind of just a random, just trying to find some cool shapes that I like that we can make work for him. That might be a little too much of an angle. Take it to the side, see how we feel about it. Okay, and then down the center. And I like how, because we got mirroring turned on, when we overlap these shapes, we kind of get new shapes out of the same ones, so it doesn't all look exactly the same. Let's go with your classic 80s mech backpack. Yeah. That's looking good. Then and down. Get a bit more out. He needs an outie. Okay, just one sec, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. There's some other stuff going on in life. Okay. All right. So back again. Here we go. Okay. And so we're starting to have that shape. He's still really skinny, though. I like sort of spidery, scrawny robots, but I think we need to buff him up a little bit more. My normal tendency would be to hide those shoulder joints. I think it's the 80s anime in me, but I think it seems like modern mech design, they kind of like to leave the moving parts because it looks cool for the movies. So maybe we'll leave that. And I don't know, is it right? I think it's, as long as you're doing it with an intent, then I guess it's right. Let's go back up, grab some more parts. I want something a little wider to give him like a skirt, or whatever you want to call the armor version of a skirt, but it's a skirt. I like that shoulder pad. That to me just reads like a shoulder pad. Or, in this case, a hip pad. It's probably coming forward though. Yes, it is. I think that's the biggest difference I found with like sort of mechs versus, no, I don't like it. Up, let's try it down. But like robot stuff versus spaceships is that because it's now human shaped, you got to pay a little more attention to forward and back angle, whereas when you're just kind of doing cylindrical spaceships, it's less of a big deal. So, all right, there we go. This really feels like sort of clay armature building to me, which is cool. I'm really, I may have mentioned that I'm pretty psyched about all this. I really like it. Let's just give him some thicker legs now. And off to the side. No, I don't know about that. Let's kind of go with the, maybe we'll shrink it down a little more. Kind of like the different sizes thing going on there, so maybe we'll do that instead. That's kind of cool too. And then, I don't know why, but every robot needs something like that, in my opinion. And then here, there we go. And this is kind of just, again, like his interior, is it not exoskeleton, endoskeleton? Yeah, that's the word, endoskeleton. So, gonna get more to him than that, but everybody needs a big Hellboy gauntlet. I think it's not quite centered though. It's not. Let's do it again. Do it from the side this time. That looks better. Yep, cool. So Hellboy gauntlet. He's gonna get a hand in a minute. I still want him. He needs more beef in the back. He has no butt, and we got to give him a butt. We might want to be using this as a foot later too, but right now it is a robot butt. Yep, there we go. And a robot backpack. No. But yes, okay. And maybe that could be kind of cool. Not that. Some kind of simulating shoulder muscles that don't really exist, but you know, hey. I have no idea what his head's gonna be at. Needs feet. Well, I said these were feet. Let me see if I can find a better foot first, just to see some shape that's gonna wind up being a foot. Do I want rounded? Maybe rounded would be cool. I know that it has no bottom, but this is also just concept art, so we can fake it if we needed to, or I can always fill it in. How do we feel about those as feet? I kind of dig it. I do need to do a bit of shaving if those are going to be feet or something. Or maybe we'll just move them down just a little bit. What happens if we do that? And we show a little bit of that top part. Maybe a little more. All right, cool. Yeah, we need to get some form in the back there. Square thing. Or that. Let's try that. All this is just sort of for like the illusion. That's kind of cool. It looks like he has sneakers. But yeah, like I buy that as a foot, particularly for concept art at this stage. That's cool. And they're a bit big, but you know, whatever. Let's see. Give him hands now. Couple of different options for hands. What I've been doing is kind of a little cheaty, but and that's just taking a male left hand and yeah, I'm just gonna use human hands. I'm just cheaty, I guess, but I don't know. That's too big. Woo! Okay. Hands. I should probably spend a little bit of time giving them some parts, but those are sort of base. It's kind of funny because it's a simple enough model. It actually could kind of read as robot parts. Let's just spend a little time. I didn't do this last time, but I think it'd be kind of cool. Mechanical. Let's grab, I don't know, just some part. I want to make just something, maybe that even. Let's try. And then we're going to shrink it down. Shrink it down more. And okay, now he's got a robot part. Just something to make it feel more, it's a robot and not a human hand. These tiny shapes are great for that. Okay, we need to hide that shoulder joint a little more. That there's looking stupid. Maybe just a cap. All right. Um, I'm not. The arms are feeling like it's kind of a weird bending out, but again, this is just a sort of a concept art sort of still pose. I'm not trying to make him action oriented at this point. So, well, I think like I don't really like the way that that's posing if this were going to be like an illustration, but it's not. So maybe I should just relax a little bit. And let's see if this will kind of give me a kind of a cool gorget part there. Yeah, okay, we're giving more neck. He clearly needs a head. He's not going to be a pencil eraser head, but um, so okay. Kind of, let's just go with. I thought about giving him sort of like a helmety sort of style head, but I kind of want him to feel really robotic on this one. So, like, I want him to be not human shaped for a head. So square. And yeah, and let's kind of complexify it. You know, start and then complexify, which is a real word. I'm sure of it. It better be. And okay, yeah. All right. Yep, yep, yep. Also, on the inside of that shoulder joint, it feels too weak. He needs more in there. Um, Try that piece. Um, Definitely helps to know some anatomy for this stuff. Be like, oh, we need something to replicate it. If it's not actually a, you know, the muscle, the rhomboids, and all those things, and at least it kind of fills that shape so we feel it more. But I don't think it's really key. Like this guy clearly does not have human muscles. Like clearly does not have human muscles. Um, yeah, he feels very silly to me still, but that might be okay. I have this tendency to doubt myself at about this stage, and maybe I'm right too. He still feels really skinny though. Um, let's hmm. Let's try for some happy accents. The move tool. Um, Move tool is definitely neat, but I feel like I lose a lot of control with it, which sometimes freaks me out. But um, it's not necessarily a bad thing. There we go. He's got more oomph. Let's give him a butt again. And actually, let's give all that more. Wow, I think that's too much of a butt, but we'll cut it off. He's very shapely right now. You, sir, have a fine rear end. Um, yeah, that's better though. He feels more rounded. I'm gonna actually increase his front end a little bit more. Give him a bit more junk in the front. Um, yeah, cool. Oh yeah, he's feeling way more oomphy now, and that's a good thing. Oomphy being, another one of those words. You guys use weird words too? Please tell me I'm not the only one that just like makes up words. My dad was huge about it, and I find that I just make English kind of do what I want it to do instead of what it's supposed to do sometimes. Okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, cool. All right. Um, so there's a robot. He's pretty generic. He's probably going to stay pretty generic just because it's hard to come up with something new on the fly. I want to try that something. I'm just going to go back to straight kind of painting him for a bit. So just the square brush, smaller. I set it to continuous. I'm just going to fill in some shapes here. Instead of just sort of mashing everything together kit bash style, there is a point in this process where I think it is better to draw a little bit, and that's essentially what this is just drawing in 3D. Um, and the neat thing with this tool is the way that the brush makes that like kind of stair step shape because it's not super smooth. kind of gives you some cool stuff. And just for completeness sake, there, now I'm attaching his thing. Not that you're ever probably going to see it underneath, but it's now attached. And I'm going to actually detach it. There. If I were actually giving this to an animator, I would want to make sure that, he can move his leg. And robots are often pretty silly about that. They really rarely work. Gundam is amazing. It's like, how exactly are you supposed to, the only thing sillier than Gundam are 40K Space Marines, in my opinion. Like, how are you supposed to move your arm? You're not. But it's cool. I've never been a huge, like, it's cool person. I get laughed at sometimes because I'm way more about the story, and I'm way more about how does it work? That's what I want to know. When I was working on Super Friends at Titmouse a couple of years ago, they did, if you didn't know, they did like a reboot for YouTube of the Super Friends cartoon. And I did a bunch of Gotham City and the Batcave, actually. And there was a shot where the director wanted me to move a cliff in the Batcave that had been previously established. And I was like, but it's there. Like, we've shown that there's a cliff face, and if you put the Batmobile there, it would fall into the chasm. And of course, being a director, what he said was, this is a kid show. No one will notice. And what I wanted to say was, man, I would have noticed as a kid. That was the kind of stuff that drove me insane. Which may be why I'm an environment designer more than a character person. Let's see. Is that too much butt? I think that is too much butt. Let's cut it down a little bit. May have cut it down too much. Let's bring it back out again. And okay. I like those striations. And realistically, for what I'll probably use this for, you're only mostly going to see the front 3/4 view anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Kind of reminds me of like a Kirby robot, or like one of the ROM Space Knight era, like the old clunky ones, which probably most of you have no idea what I'm talking about there. But now I think what I want to do is go back to Clay, go back to Add, and let's do some cool cables. I just like cables. These are supposed to be handlebars, but I kind of was playing with them yesterday, and they make really neat cables just to do that. See, woo! Now he's got some kind of electrical / hydraulic / something, and it's pretty silly that a robot would actually have these. Probably a military robot would have any of these things externally. That's a little small for my resolution, so let's make it a bit bigger. Let me take it that way. Maybe not. We'll just leave it off right now. But like, it's kind of ridiculous that you would have your cables outside like this where somebody could shoot them off. But it really makes it read robot really fast to have that stuff. And, I mean, like I said, I was watching Aaron Beck's video the other day, and he's right. Err on the side of cool. Try to take your basis from reality, take your basis from the stuff that you know. But when in doubt, you probably want to err on the side of cool. I am bad about that. I tend to err on the side of realism. Oh, I'm on. That's why it's being weird. Okay, I'm on continuous still, aren't I? Yep, single, one shot. Okay, now it should be better. Yes, now it's better. Cool. All right. So just gonna like throw some cables in there, which will catch light nicely and make it look neat when you're dealing with it later. And I don't know about the arms. Like, I kind of liking how open and loose that arm space is, and I'm also kind of afraid that it's too open and loose. I don't know yet. I think maybe what I'll do, rather than cables, is let's take a pill, excuse me, a capsule, and run that down the center. So now It's like, okay, yeah, so now it's like articulating around this central joint point. Um, I like to have the stories. I like, I mean, like, I know this whole thing is complete bullshit. Like, there's no actual, obviously, thing working here, but somehow it's just cooler if you know, like, well, that's why it has that, dummy. You're like, oh, well, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense then. Thank you. Um, let's see what other cool shapes we want to use. I like doing this and switching up my, oh, that could kind of be neat. I like switching up my, basically like my brush every once in a while, just because I feel like it's like in Photoshop, it just adds more visual interest and makes it cooler. And when in doubt, make it cooler. No. No, but that does not make it cooler. Um, so, okay, let's go back. Pretty good read. He's definitely reading this humanoid robot. He feels robotic. He feels pretty good at large size. At least I think so. And he's my robot. I'm going to add a couple more pipey things. That's kind of neat because it goes sideways. There we go. That's a neat shape. Um, let's see. If I were anime, I would cover those ball joints here. You put some kind of an armor plate there. Let's try it. See how it works. If it doesn't, if I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. What would be a good shape for that? Um, I don't know. I'm completely just winging it, but do we feel like see, that's an anime way of doing it. I don't like it yet. It has possibilities. I just don't like it yet. I'm not going to give up on it right away. That's better. Maybe. We'll leave it for right now. The center line's a pain in my butt, though. So let's go back to continuous square. Shrink it way down. And fill that. And then go to no, that's a weird. It should be bigger than that, right? Strength 100, size. There we go. Now it's kind of more platey. Probably too soft now. Let's undo it. And take it down. Okay. And then concept art. So it doesn't need to be perfect. If I wanted to make it perfect at this point, I'd probably just take it into 3D Coat to smooth that off a little bit. I think it'd be easier than dealing with here. But there, now he has some kind of a shin guard. Why? I don't know. He needs a shin guard. Let's see. Now, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. What else do we want to do? Let's cut away for a bit more again. Cool. It's cheap, but cool. Oh, I could try to. Let's see if I do. That now, maybe now it feels more intentional. Yeah. All right. And you maybe don't notice that they're not exactly the same anymore. Vents or something. How do I feel about it? No, I don't like it there. It's all just trial and error. You want to go with the enemy toe? Let's do the enemy toe. That's too far over. There. Now he has the anime robot toe. And we could flatten. that a bit. I probably should have done it bigger so I could make it consistent, but okay, now his foot's sort of flatter. Yeah, all right, cool. Kind of digging him. How's he feel from the side? He feels soldiery from the side. He's a little scrawny, but not bad. And this, because it's off, let's just kind of hide that just because it feels weird in that one spot. Again, this is the kind of thing that in concept art, I should probably just fix afterward. But what can we use to kind of hide that double shoulder point? Maybe that? Let's see. I'm still on build, but okay. So maybe I like being on build instead of. There we go. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't hold up to real observation, but maybe if we do the same thing there. Cool, yeah, that's better. And maybe even so they're not quite so like it's perfectly symmetrical. Or I mean it is, but not to the individual arm is not perfectly symmetrical. Cool. Yep. Let's try one more tool, just for the heck of it. Can we? No, not smooth. Cut. Not cut. Sorry. Flatten. Try the. Is that better? I think it's a little better. I'm not exactly sure what the flatten tool does that the cut tool does not do. But oh, not that much though. Undo. Right. Okay. Yeah. And so he has no weapons right now. Do we want to give him real weapons? I don't know. I think one thing I do want to do now is turn off mirror and make him a little asymmetrical. I find that just makes it a little cooler. So not a lot asymmetrical, but can really be as simple in some cases as, is that as big as that gets? No, good. As like, oh, that's a skinny thing. Or am I on single? But I think it's still skinny. And so it's something that can kind of be like an antenna. We use the thing. I don't know what it is, but that thing. There we go. He's got a smokestack or an antenna or something. But that's different. So now he doesn't read as like 100% mirrored, which is a little boring. And then maybe to continue that, is there anything else we want to give him on the back that's asymmetrical? No, we'll call that. I think that's cool. Is that there's some garbage there. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Go back to sphere, continuous, shrink it down. There's some weird garbage. Oh, there's a little bit there too. I'm being really picky. There's no need to mess with that, but I'm glad to. And I guess that was symmetrical, so there's one on that side too. Yeah, yep. And then maybe let's give him like some kind of a, yeah, okay. I'm talking to myself, but let's see if this works. Something like symbol or something, a place where a symbol could be. He needs his like sheriff star. I don't want it to be singular though. It should be on his right side, though, not his left side. I have, yeah, I'm not quite lined up perfectly yet. Took a couple times. No. Yeah, good enough. Cool. All right. I mean, he's a little silly. I'm not going to argue that he's not a little. So maybe can we hide that? Let's see what, just to see. Kind of like it, but let's see what we do it with the mirror on, just so I can make sure I can get it perfectly centered. Yeah. All right. Gonna hide that weird seam thing a little bit better. So there's a robot. I hope you enjoyed following along with me. This was fun to do. These guys are definitely, it's a different set of design challenges in spaceships, but very cool to do. I enjoy them. I will take the final and bring it into KeyShot and give it a texture and render it just so we can kind of see it better. And then I'll post it up in the comments. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me today. And again, if you have any ideas or something you want me to play with and work on tomorrow, I'm happy to hear it. Cool. Take care. Bye-bye.